You mentioned Kali Sheikh, like
Mm-hmm.
he's changed that game of boxing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of fighters are starting to fight a lot more regular now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's able to make them fights happen very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the past,
Mm-hmm.
talks would happen,
Mm-hmm.
get postponed. You'll have a different fight. I'm waiting too long. What do you think of him and what he's doing for the sport and the way the sport? Yeah, we've had Wembley Stadium, a big event there, but a lot of it's happening in the Middle East. Like, what do you think of boxing moving away from the UK?
It's all about money. Boxing's all about money, and if the money's in the Middle East, that's where the fighters are gonna go. If the money's here, it's where the fighters will go. And it's good for boxing because now the fighters are getting paid what they should get paid, whereas we've been fighting for chicken change for such a long time. And this is why the fights don't happen because there's not enough money in it. But now, you know what Seiku's doing? He's saying, I'm going to pay you guys what you deserve. This is why we get the best fighting the best. You got Deontay Wilder fighting a heavyweight. He's got Usyk fighting AJ. He's got the Fury against Usyk. He's got all these big fights happening
Mm.
because he pays the fighters what they should get paid, and it's good. And you know it's good for boxing, and you know, and I'm happy for the fighters. I'm very happy.
Every time you go into the ring,
Mm,
you are putting your life on the line.
mm-hmm,
We've even had, you know, Michael who came on the podcast, Michael Watson,
mm-hmm,
he came on the podcast, but obviously he had a fight with,
mm-hmm,
Eubank and hit the ropes,
mm-hmm,
isn't it? So that's, Nick Blackwell when
mm-hmm,
he fought Eubank as well.
mm-hmm,
These people have been seriously injured in
mm-hmm.
the sport, and have they really been compensated?
Absolutely not. It's like, listen, in boxing, you fight a fight, you get brain damage or something happens, you're not the same. What they say is, yes, he was a good fighter. He gave us some good fights. Okay, cool. On to the next one. On to the next champion. People don't care about the fighters. The fans don't care. The fans, they want to get that one night of fix. They want to get the fighting fix and on to the next one. They don't care whether we get brain damage or not. There's no governing body. Whereas if you get brain damage, they look after you and they give you money for the rest of your life if you can't work. That's not how it is. That's not how it is nowadays. You get brain damage, something happens to you. Well, you had a good run.
Yeah.
You got the belt. You got the name. People know you. You're a good fighter. Thumbs up. That's what it is. That's the reality.
That's what Watson told me as well. He was like, they didn't even call me back to these award ceremony. They would normally,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, it's done now,
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing,
Yeah. Boxing is brutal. Boxing is a brutal game, and people need to know what they're getting involved in. People need to know what they're getting involved in. Nowadays, people don't know what they're getting involved in.
Can I ask you, what was your toughest fight in the ring?
Taylor, when I fought Taylor, listen, I couldn't do what I wanted to do properly.
Mm.
I couldn't do what I wanted to do properly because I had too much lactic acid. I couldn't punch. My legs were gone early in the fight, and I was getting hit with so many shots. I was getting hit with so many shots. And then my nostrils, I couldn't breathe properly. I had a perforated eardrum because he caught me with a good shot in my ear.
Mm.
Oh, I hated that fight.
And so when you have that loss, like how do you bounce back from that loss, that failure in your life?
If I don't bounce back, then what else am I gonna do? What else am I gonna do? I ain't been. I said I ain't got. I didn't do my GCSEs. I got kicked out of my secondary school. I got kicked out of my primary school. I don't know how to do anything. I've never worked a normal job in my life. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to use the computers. I don't know how to do the coding. I don't know how to be a businessman. I don't know how to. I've never worked in a job before. What else do I know how to do? But listen, you go back in the gym and you try again. If there was something else I knew how to do, maybe I would have said, you know what, this boxing shit's kind of hard, you know. I got something else. Let me go do that. There's nothing else there's nothing else that I know.
But
Nothing else that I knew.
how do you get up, O'Hara, and you're like, oh, I've lost yesterday, Where how do I restart now? Where do I go from here? Like I've got a blemish on my record.
I don't know. You just gotta do. I just done naturally what I know how to do. All that I know is how to box. And the people, they laugh at you, they write bad things about you. You just gotta walk through the pain. You gotta have thick skin.
And
You
were
can't be
people
taught.
trolling?
You can't be taught how to have thick skin. Either you got it or you don't have it. But if I didn't have thick skin, then what else am I gonna do? Kickboxing and do what? Boxing's all I know.
What about for men's mental health? Is there anything out there for you to talk to somebody? Because men don't, discuss their feelings or how they're feeling, or people go, "You're a pussy, bruv," if you're talking like that, rather than like women have circles where they're going, it's all right. Come to this thing. Let's talk about it. You know.
Boxing's a hard man's game. Boxing's a hard man's game. There ain't no mental health. We don't need no mental health. No, we need mental health. That's why we're in boxing in the first place. Because we're not meant to be right anyway. That's why we got into the game in the first place. Listen, boxing is such a barbaric sport. There's nothing that's gonna get you mentally prepared to go in there and do battle with another man in front of thousands watching that are coming to boo you and that cheer once you get knocked out, that want you to get knocked out, and you got to fight. There's no mental, there's nothing that's gonna help you prepare for that. You either got it or you don't. You just go in there and you fight. And it's the same thing. When you get beat, there's no one that's gonna sit you down and tell you something that's gonna make you feel good about your loss. No, you're gonna feel shit. You feel shit today, tomorrow you're gonna feel even more shit, and the next day you're gonna feel even more shit. But you gotta find it in yourself to get up from your bed and go to the fucking gym. Because if you don't, that's on you, and ain't no one coming to help you. You're on your own. You're by yourself. Yes, you got people there for you. I've got my friends and my brothers and my family. But what can they say? Ah, you got to be. You're gonna come back stronger. What are you gonna say? That's gonna make me feel any better. There's nothing you can say. Either I've got to find the strength for myself, or I'm gonna quit. That's it. There's nothing anyone can say.
Did you like playing the villain role, being hated?
I loved it because this is what my idols done. Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather. You know, when I look at Floyd, this is what these guys done. I wanted to be the villain. I wanted to get booed. I loved it. Now when I got older, I don't love it because it's not me. I'm not that villain. I'm just me. That's why now I'm just authentic now. I'm just me. Whether you love me, and I find out that I get loved now when I'm just me. Like people love me.
It's okay to be.
Yeah. People love me, but I got to a point where I've said, you know what? I don't want to be like my idols. I want to be me. I want to be myself, and that's what I am now. And the people love me because of they love me now because of it. But whether they love me or they hate me, I don't really care anyway. As long as my true friends love me and my true people love me, that's all I care about.
So what happens life outside of boxing now?
I don't know.
What's the
Listen,
2.0?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, I've got different opportunities. I've got different options and different opportunities there for me. There's always going to be there's always going to be a place for me in boxing. If I'm not in the ring, there's always going to be a place for me in boxing or outside of boxing. I've got different opportunities. I just got to look at what I want to do.
Mhm. You made some smart moves with some of your paychecks.
Yeah, I've got a few properties. Me and my brother. It's not just me. So we both went halves on them. So we've got a few now. My brother's been a big influence in my boxing career. He's the reason why I got into the property game in the first place because I remember being at our mum's house. I was gonna get the BMW i8, and he came to the house and he came to the room. And he was like, "Listen, I heard you on the phone. You're gonna go get the car and you're gonna park it outside mum's house. By tomorrow, the car will be gone." He said to me, "Why don't you go get your own flat and go park the car in your own flat in your own driveway?" Then a few days later, he said to me, "Listen, if you want to get a flat, I'll go halves for you." That's when I was like, "Okay, cool. I got the money to do it myself, but if you go halves with me, at least I ain't got to spend it all."
Mm.
So we went halves on the first flat. Then I had a fight. I got paid now. I said, "You know what? I'm gonna get the car now." Then I sat down. I said, "Wait, if I get the car, I've got to pay for the petrol, the car insurance. I've got to service it. The mileage on the car is gonna break down. I've got to pay it. But if we get another flat, that means we can put this flat on rent, move into that flat, and then we can make money." So I said, "Either I can spend money to make money, or I can spend money to spend money." I said, "Okay, cool. Let's get another flat first, and then I'll get the car after." So we got another flat, and I had another flat after that. I ain't even think about the car since to this day. I ain't thought
That
about the car
passive
since.
income's coming in.
The passive income's good, and the property game is good, and that's my new passion now. I love the property game. I love houses. I love talking about property. I love learning about it. I love the property industry. This is a passion that I've got right now. I just need some more money so I can get some more.
Come on, bro. Got to got to get some of them properties refinanced,
That's it.
equity, put some more deposits down. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it. That's it.
Look, you've been brilliant, but I want to before you kind of go and wrap this one up, I want some fight predictions from you. Hang on, what do you think of all of this influencer boxing?
If it makes money, it makes sense.
Yeah,
They put more eyes, to the game. More people. are into boxing now because of the influence of boxing.
It's not disrespectful.
Uh, It's only it's only disrespectful to the fighters that haven't. No, it's only disrespectful to the jealous fighters because they're looking at a KSI fight and they're saying in this guy's first fight, he's making more money than I've ever seen in my life, that I'm ever gonna see in my boxing career. He's making more money than that in one fight,
Mm.
and they feel disrespected because of it. But I'm like, in his field, he's done so well, and he's coming into your field, and he's just gonna go and bring that same audience. So he's not taking money out of your pocket. Don't be jealous. Just gotta focus on yourself and on what you're doing, and your money will come. Don't be jealous because of him. Like, nah. I remember in my time, I've been to many fights. I've been to AJ's fights. I fought on his cards many times. I was at in Vegas when Floyd fought Guerrero in the AMGM Grand. I was there. I've been to so many different fights in my time in boxing, and the biggest fight I've ever been to that had the biggest crowd was the first KSI when he fought Logan Paul. Listen, that crowd was absolutely fucking crazy. The place was shaking from the
Mhm.
first fight, whereas nowadays the fans only come right before the final fight. That's when it
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
packed. On the first fights, the fans ain't there. This place was jam packed from the first fight. They was making noise. The ground was fucking shaking. It was in the MEN Arena that holds 18,000. It holds more than the O2, and it was packed from the first fight. If it wasn't good for boxing, how does that happen? How? How? It was crazy, crazy. And listen, and I'm happy for them. It don't take like it don't take anything out of my pocket. I can still go in there and make my money. It's not as much as what they make, but I'm thankful and I'm grateful for what I make. And I'm happy, and you just gotta be grateful. Anyone that says that is a disrespect, they're just jealous
Mhm.
because it's not like they're fighting pros. They're fighting people that are on their level, so it's okay.
Would you come back for an exhibition fight? So, like, Amir Khan came back to fight, like, sort of. Well, it wasn't exhibition. He came back to fight Kell Brook, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
would you come back for a money fight?
I don't know. I've got to see how I feel, but I really got to see how I feel. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow holds really in my life. My life is just like, I don't know. I'm just, I'm just like taking each day as it comes and just taking each day as it comes. In the meantime, now I'm looking at properties. I've had a few viewings, trying to find a new flat that I like so that I can buy it. And this is what takes up most of my days now. I'm just chilled out on the sofa looking at flats because
Jason Patterson.
no.
I need to introduce you. He's a short lease king.
Mm-hmm.
He buys flats on short leases.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure there's a section 42 served already, so you can negotiate straight away to extend the lease and force the value straight
Mm-hmm.
up.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to link you up with him.
Yeah,
Trust me,
listen,
if
this is
that's what
something
you're
that
looking at.
I thought about. I have thought about doing that. Houses that have got short leases. I've been seeing some in like I saw one flat in Victoria, London,
Wow.
like 180K in Victoria. You're looking at least a million in that area. I saw 100, but then I saw the lease had about 6 or 7 years left in it.
Mm. Yeah,
So
there's a
this is
big
something
premium.
that it's something that I haven't done yet, but
Yeah,
something that I've got to look into because you're able to get some like some good deals.
absolutely.
If you do that, all you got to have is the cash to top up the lease, and know how to top the lease up.
Yes,
So
exactly.
this is something that I'll be open to learning.
Definitely. So talk to me, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Is that ethically? Is that right? Mike Tyson's like 58, 59 now, getting in the ring with a 26-year-old.
It makes money, man. It makes money.
Isn't that dangerous?
Nah, because people say that it's so dangerous, but it's got a referee there. There's a referee. If Mike Tyson's taking too many hits, the referee say fight's done. The fight will be done.
An early 60-year-old take a big right hand from, you know, another guy who's been fighting professionally now for a few fights, training his ass off. You can see it.
This is Mike Tyson we're talking about. We're not talking about any 60-year-old. We're talking about Mike Tyson.
Uh,
Listen, Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson. That guy is different. He's always been different. So listen, Mike Tyson could win. He could win.
Definitely
If he
got
still
knocked
got the
out.
punching power, then the question would be, can Jake Paul take his shots? And this is what makes this fight so exciting because
Mm-hmm.
this fight is not about Jake Paul. It's all about Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
What Mike Tyson are we gonna see? If
Yeah,
he's anything from the Mike Tyson that we knew,
yeah,
Jake Paul's in big trouble.
yeah. What's your prediction?
I don't know. It just depends on what Mike Tyson's like. I don't know. This is the beauty of that fight. We don't know. Boxing's so much better when you don't know.
Mm.
You see when you know, no one cares. When you don't know, that's when it's like, yes, I want to watch this shit.
Yeah. Well, that's just out in a week or 10
Uh-huh,
days or
uh-huh.
something. Yeah. There's two big families whose both their sons are fighting. You got the Bens, you got the Eubanks. There's a lot of talk about them two fighting. What do you think of that matchup?
You mean Conor Ben versus Chris Eubank Jr.? I don't know. It's a good fight. Eubank, when he fought Liam Smith, he looked good.
Mm.
But when he fought his last fight, he didn't really look too good. But then again, when he fought Liam Smith, he had Bomac in the corner. And that's why he looked so good. He had a good coach. For his last fight, Bomac wasn't his coach for that fight. So this is why Eubank wasn't the same. But it's all about what Eubank turns up against Ben. What weight is the fight going to be at?
Mm.
Because if they make him come down a weight, he's going to be drained. And a drained Eubank isn't a dangerous Eubank. Ben is a dangerous fighter.
Mm.
But Eubank's got the experience. Ben hasn't been in the ring for so long. Eubank has.
He looks like an animal, though, Ben.
Ben, he
He
is an
looks
animal.
like he just waxed them.
Conor Ben is the animal. Conor Ben is the animal. But then again, Eubank's not a bum. Eubank's a good fighter and he's gonna have a game plan. And if he's got the right coach and the right team behind him, he will learn how to nullify Ben and what he's got. The what Conor does won't work against him. Maybe. This is the beauty of that fight. It can go either way. It just depends on what Eubank turns up and what Ben turns up.
Have you
It's
trained with any of them fighters?
Me and Ben was in the same camp for years. When Ben trained with
Okay.
Sims, the time when I was with Sims is when Connor came there. Listen,
Wow.
like I was there before Connor was there. I was there. So when Connor came, I'm the first one that he came and sparred. I'm the first one that he sparred with, and he was there.
Wasn't he a little bit like, here comes a little celebrity son? He's gonna be like coming in he's just gonna take in his stride. My dad's Nigel Ben. How was his attitude?
Nah, Connor was just a normal guy. It was just a lad. And when he was there, his dad Nigel, he was only giving him about £50 a week. I think £50 a week or less than that maybe.
Mm.
So he wasn't the flashy son. He wasn't like the celebrity. He was just like the poorest person in the gym, and he's just happy to be there. And I think he wasn't flashy or nothing like that. He was just a humble guy, and that's how he's always been.
Did his work ethic come through as well, or was he like, I don't have to work as hard?
Listen, Connor always worked hard. Connor always worked hard. He works overtime. He works overtime. He's in the gym. He works hard. He'll go home and he'll train some more. Even now, to this day, he trains. He's like a gym addict. One of those guys that when they fight or when they don't fight, he's like a gym addict.
Mm.
And I don't think it's not about boxing. He's just a gym addict. If he's boxing or not, he's just like his dad. Look at his dad. His dad's always in the gym doing runs. And it's not about the boxing. It's not like I'm so consistent in my boxing and like, no, he's just a gym addict.
Mm-hmm.
And he happens to be in boxing and that helps him. And that helps him. So he's just a gym addict. But he's done very good, and I'm very proud of him. I'm glad to see where he's got to because the time when I met him, he had no car. I had to go and get him every morning to go gym when he was at his nan's house. I had to go there in the morning and pick him up and then take him to the gym.
Wow.
And he was getting £50 a week of his dad. Now he's got his own money now. He don't
Yeah.
need dad's money. He's got his own car now. He's got his own house. He's got his own wife and kids now. He's a man.
What do you think of that story that came up about him? He failed a drug test.
I don't know. The Connor I know, that's not him. The Connor I know, that's not him. But I think he's been cleared now. So, if he's been cleared, then obviously he wasn't at fault. If he's been cleared, but I'm not with him day and night, so I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs, but
Mm-hmm.
he's been cleared, so that obviously says something.
So you got a prediction for us out of that fight?
It just depends on what Ben and what Eubank turns up.
Mm.
We don't know. Anyone that says this person's gonna win, they're just guessing. Boxing fans like to guess. They like if they like Ben more, they say Ben's gonna win. If they like Eubank more, Eubank's gonna win. Just be real. A lot of boxing fans talk shit. They don't understand boxing. We don't know. We don't know.
Mm. People are saying, that Eubank's getting older. He's getting slower. He's not that young
It's
Eubank.
true. It is the same with me. I'm getting older. I'm getting slower. But when you get slower, you get smarter. And Eubank doesn't need to be fast. He don't need to be that vicious fighter like he was. He just needs to be smart. So age can work for you most times, and
Wow.
I think his age can work for him.
We've got Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen.
Johnny Fisher wins this fight. Come on, I
Yeah.
think he probably stopped Dave Allen quite early as well.
Do you think inactivity is ring rust? Is ring rust a
Ring
thing?
rust. I don't think Dave Allen's ever been that guy. Dave Allen's never been a really good fighter. Dave Allen's been he's known because he's a personality online and he says things that makes everyone laugh and people like him. They like him as a person, but he's never really been that guy. He's never really been that vicious fighter, good fighter. He's never really been that. He's gonna come out there, he's gonna give it a go, and he's gonna get he's gonna get paid well. But Johnny Fisher's there to win. And you know, I feel like with Fisher, he knows this is my time. I'm here to win. Everyone knows how the script's gonna go. We all know. That's not even a question. We all know how it's gonna go. Like watching EastEnders, you know what's gonna happen next. Johnny Fisher's gonna win and fight
Run him
someone.
down.
And, yeah, yeah.
What's your predictions on Johnny Fisher coming up in the heavyweight
Mm-hmm.
division? Do you think he could be? Has he got the attributes to become a world
Mm-hmm.
champion?
Thinking about Johnny Fisher, yeah, he's so humble with it. And when you speak to him, he speaks like, "Listen, I'm just happy to be here, and this person's my idol, and I like to fight directors, so I look up to these people." When he fights them, he will fucking go for the head. Johnny Fisher's a dangerous fighter, and he masks it, he hides it behind the humble approach. He hides it amongst the heart. You say, you think, "Oh yeah, he's just happy to be here." Listen, he will take your head clean off your shoulders, mate. That guy's a dangerous fighter. And he wasn't good at the start. He was just meant to be a guy that can sell some tickets and we'll see how he gets on with the boxing. But he's fucking worked hard, man. And he defied the odds, even to get where he's got now. He's a lot better than what anyone thought he'd get to
Mm.
because no one's sure. There was no one that saw him as that guy. Everyone said, yeah, some of the guys that can sell good tickets, but he's done good for himself. He's worked hard.
Quite humble as well. Like I'm from,
Mm,
Romford, Gideon
mm,
Park sort of
mm,
areas, and he'll come down to,
mm.
the shopping
Yeah, yeah,
centre
yeah.
and come and say hi to the fans as well.
You see, Johnny Fisher, he's different, man. He's different. He's such a humble guy. It don't matter where he gets or what he makes in life. Because he don't forget where he came from, and a lot of times people do. This guy was a fisherman, right? He used to sell fish in a store up in Billion Gates Market, from what I know. Him and his dad used to go there and sell fish. He was a poor man, he was a poor man, and now he's achieved the world. But he don't forget where he came from. He don't forget. Whereas, in this game, many fighters they do. They forget where they came from, and every time I see Johnny Fisher, he doesn't know he's the person that he is. I don't know. I think in his mind he doesn't think he's the person that he is. Like he never looks excited. Have you ever seen him laughing? I've never seen him laughing. I've never seen him looking
Only when
excited.
he's been on here, yeah,
Yeah,
obviously.
like every time I see him, he's just like the humble, like yeah,
Yeah,
like it's like he's the same person that he was back then,
nah,
and
he's
that's
good.
and that's good to see. I'm very happy for him and his dad, and they've done so good for themselves.
Nah, he's really good. He was more nicer to even my boys.
Mm,
He was like, "Comrade, do you want anything signed?" Do
yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Like, and he was just
yeah,
like, he
yeah.
was really cool
Mm,
guy. And finally, I want to ask you about one of my favorite boxers. He was part of, the company that you work for, Queensbury, Tyson Fury. Did you meet him?
yeah, I've met Tyson a few times, but I don't know him personally. He's someone that I see and I say hi, how you doing? But he's not someone that I know personally.
Okay,
He's from up north. He's from Manchester somewhere. I'm
okay,
from London, so he's not. The only heavyweight I know quite well, I say, is Andy Joshua.
okay.
But apart from that, I don't really know any of the heavyweights too well.
What did you think of Tyson Fury versus Usyk?
That was a good fight. That was a good fight. Usyk just had a bit too much. Usyk just had a bit too much. I think the second time round, I think Tyson's going to go for it.
Hmm.
I think he's going to go for it. I think he saw something in the first fight, and he knows that he can win. Even though he didn't win, he could have won. And I don't know what it is, but he knows what it is. Because his confidence for this fight is different. And I think in this next fight, I think Tyson's going to show us something different. I think Tyson might even stop him. I think Tyson wins this next fight and might stoppage, most likely, because he's seen something. He's seen something. The first fight, Usyk, he got him, he shocked him, just a bit too slippery.
Hmm.
But I think for this next fight, I think Tyson's gonna get him, pin him down, and give it to him.
He needs to. He
I
needs
think he
to.
will.
I love Fury because he's been like one of the realest boxers
hmm
as well.
hmm
He just says it how it is.
Tyson's been through the ups and downs, and he's a lad. He ain't got no image to maintain. He'll drink. and he'll be depressed, and he'll come out and say,
Yeah.
"I was depressed. I
Yeah.
felt like shit."
Yeah.
Whereas most fighters, image they're too image conscious.
Hmm.
It's like, whereas just be free. Tyson don't give a fuck, and that's why I like him. I respect him so much because I like him. I look up to people like that.
And finally, the very last question I want
Mm-hmm.
to ask you, there's a fight that everybody wants to see, AJ versus Tyson
Mm-hmm.
Fury. Everybody's asking for that. Some people say this is like way past its time now, but that fight sort of got to happen. And even Tyson recently said that fight's got to happen. How do you see that one playing out?
It's past this time now. It's past this time. I don't think people want to see the fight now as much as they did want to see it before.
Say it happens next year. Who wins?
I don't know. I don't know.
Both giants.
They're both giants, and they both done so much for our game. It's sad to know that there's going to be a loser if they fight. I don't want to see the fight. I don't want them to fight because there has to be a loser,
Mm.
and I don't want to see AJ lose, or I don't want to see Tyson Fury lose. I don't want to. I don't want to see They both. They both done so much for boxing, and it's like AJ's last fight when he fought. When he, in his last fight, I walked out after he went down in the first round. I walked out, and then I came back in. People, I see him come. I'm like, yes, he's coming back. Even though I know Daniel Dubois too, I know AJ differently. AJ's helped me personally. I've had certain fights where I've got paid more than I was meant to get paid because of AJ. When I fought on his undercards, and whenever I've had some issues, I need some advice, he will sit down on the phone with me for hours, and he'll give me advice, even though he's AJ and he might be in camp and he's got a big fight soon. He don't give a fuck. If I need some help, he will sit down on the phone to me for hours. He will help out if I need help, and he won't boast about it. He don't brag. He is a person that genuinely likes to help others. And isn't AJ's got the best heart of a person that I know, because there's no one on his level that is as humble as him. And every time he fights and gets beat, I hate it.
Mm.
I hate it because a person like that, I want to see them win. I want to see them win. It hurts me more to see AJ lose than for me to lose. When I lose, I don't give a fuck. When he loses, I feel it. I feel it because it hurts him when he it hurts him to lose. It hurts him, and I can see it in him because AJ is a person. He wants to be the best. He wants to progress, even though he's achieved a lot. He wants to achieve more, and he wants to get to the top and get to the top. And if it doesn't happen, it hurts him so much. Whereas I don't give a fuck. So it's different.
I think it's past his time now.
Maybe, maybe. Listen, we got so many young up and coming fighters coming up now. A lot of us old guys, it's time for us to go now.
Mm.
I look at Adam Azim. The first time I met Adam Azim, he was a kid. He was about 9 years old.
Wow.
He was him and his brother, one of the guys that would come and sit in the gym and wow, come and watch me in the yard in the gym doing pads training like fans. Like he looks like these little young kids, and then I'm fighting against him, and he won. And he's got the beard now and the deep voice, and he's mad. I'm like, mate, it's time for these young guys to come up,
Mm.
and that could be the case for it with AJ, but he's not done anytime soon. For one thing I know about him, he ain't gonna stop when everyone else takes his time. He's gonna stop when he's ready to stop. When he's ready, so we'll see.
Ohara, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, not just for these fight predictions, but for sharing your story,
Mm-hmm.
the resilience,
Mm-hmm.
the inspiration of, turning your life around, getting to the top. And I can't wait to see, what you do in the future. And hopefully we'll have you on again in the
I'll
future
be
and,
on again soon.
and see what you're up to.
Next time I'll be on here, I'll know what I'm doing in life. Right now, I don't know what I'm doing in life. So next
You're
time I'm
doing
here,
good, bro.
I'll have some direction. This is what I am. Right now, I don't know what I am. Am I an athlete? Am I a property person? What am I? I go out and people say, "Oh, so what do you do for work? What do you do for a living?" I'm like, I don't know. Next time I'm on here, I will know what I'm doing for a living.
Bro, that's a beautiful position to be in because you've done so well. If you want to say a final message for the viewers at home and let them know how they follow you.
Thank you for watching and for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. You can follow me on my Twitter at Ohara Davies, on my Instagram at Ohara Davies, and shout out to Sean Lamb Podcast, best in the business.
And that's it for today, guys. I hope you really enjoyed that episode. It was a really inspirational one. And if you're going through something tough in your life, you know how to turn that around. You know, just follow the right people, listen to their story, and you can also make that change. So until the next one, peace.